Howdy and aloha, everyone. This is James with Monotalk. The list is growing. We have 3 more Republican senators that are saying, let's stay, cancel the 33-day recess, and pass the SAVE Act. So we got Darlene Graham, Tommy Tuberville, you know who that is, Bill Haggerty, I don't know, I kind of know that, maybe I don't know who that is. But that's cool, right? That's cool. The thing is we need more people. So let's look at it. Let's look at. Oh darn it! This guy. He's talking about the SAVE Act.
Elections have, in my opinion, for both sides to have credibility in the elections. In our elections, we need to do 2 things and only 2 things. Number 1, you have to prove you are who you say you are in order to register to vote and to vote. And number 2, however you decide to vote, that's up to the states. We need to go back to having an election day, not an election month. We've got to know the results of the election that night or shortly thereafter if it's close. That, to me, is what the SAVE Act is all about. And I think we can pass.
That's not what it's about. Kind of. It's about American citizens voting in the United States. He's saying you say who you say you are, which makes sense. You know, you say if you're, you can say whatever you want, but we want it to be completely. So the way the SAVE Act is really going to work, which people kind of don't get, is. We want people to say who they are. They're American citizens, of course, right? But the funding for a lot of things will depend on if your elections are fair, just, transparent, and only American citizens are voting. That's the way this thing is really written. They put it as a financial thing, changed it, and shoved it into this bill, but at least it'll pass. So on that end of it, it's not like a law, which means if it was a law that you could break, people would get in trouble. In this case, if you're not showing that your voter rolls are accounted for, your ballots are being counted properly and justly by human beings, verified by unbiased and 3rd or 4th party people, and just making sure everything's done correctly, that an American citizen is actually voting over the age of 18, then you'll get some funding and you'll get protected and helped by the federal government. It's not what you think it is, but it's a start. Because a lot of states depend on federal funding. And there's a big chunk of money in the federal fund. And if you're smart, you'll go in this direction. And then you'll change your policies or what your mission is for your party, for the people, or for whatever you're trying to do, to coincide with how you want to get your money. Which they write shit all the time that, in my opinion, if you read it, for example, I read ballot measure 4 and 5 here in Missouri coming up. It's saying something like they're going to get rid of income tax and housing tax and state tax and all this other shit. But it's the way it's written. It gives power to certain states, certain areas, certain districts first. The problem with Congress is, or even state legislation, nothing's outright single line. Like, what was that guy's name? I was just going to say Bill Gates for some reason. Matt Gaetz. Now, Matt Gaetz was a big proponent of single line bills, meaning totally or completely eradicate and no longer pay through your checks state tax. That's it. Through your income tax, right? That's it. That would be the line. Not a bunch of words after. Therefore, if you can't have this, thus being, if you look at section 124, da da da. You know, you have certain provisions in there, of course, to get to that point. But if they were to do that and to just make it so, for example, like state income tax, you couldn't just take it away. You have to transition, give it like 2, 3, maybe 4, maybe 5 years, so you can start getting that money somewhere else to pay for the roads, the signals, you know, a little socialism, I get it. But that's what the government's for, is just to make sure your roads are clean. Don't tell us what to fucking do or how to do it, right? That's what we don't want. But, you know, just keep the freeways running, keep the streets paved, keep the sidewalks clean, you know, make sure certain things are taken care of. It's important. I think it's important. But just don't tell us how to do it. Make sure the First Amendment is always protected by the Second Amendment, in my opinion. Yeah, so this guy right here, John Kennedy, he's talking a lot of stuff, but he's not on this list. This list was just done about 3 hours ago. Let's see if it's gotten bigger. By the way, you guys need to know Scott Pressler is gay, and he is a serious Republican. Bassett, the head of Secretary of Commerce, I think, or no, that's that other guy. Secretary of something have to do with government spending. Tall guy. He's gay too, right? Everybody in Obama and before, just a bunch of, you know, buying a bunch of closet fucking crazy cross dressers. Chester County, Pennsylvania, non-juror list contains 65 pages. Yeah, we went over that. So I don't see anything new. Let's see if he has anything here. What is this? Subscriptions. Anything's got highlighted. You can help find non-citizens on the voter rolls. The Department of Homeland Security has a website called The Worst of the Worst. These are all criminal illegal aliens that have committed heinous crimes. You can filter the illegal aliens by state. Oh my gosh. And just think, Biden didn't want to touch these people. Nothing. Just terrible. Sienna, I've noticed you urge people to action. You often use the word peaceful. Oh yeah. Oh, I think I've seen this before.
Is that when you urge people to action,
yes,
you often include the word
peacefully.
Is that to avoid another Jan 6 type incident?
With all due respect, it's to avoid people like you guys saying that I'm anything but.
You gotta have the swagger, you know. You gotta have the swagger. It's important. I'm being pursued to stop talking about the Save America Act, and they don't want me to return to South Dakota. I won't be bullied, and I cannot be bought. Due to these bullying attempts, I'm also looking at coming to Sturgis. Oh, that'd be fucking cool. Good for you, man. This guy's amazing. Amazing. There's a lot of people fighting for the Save Act. He isn't the only person. S-Girl Shannon definitely. Say no. So, no. Oh. Somebody likes my response here. Because I commented, this guy's talking smack, and so I say, so no 33D recess until the Save America Act is passed? I'm just asking. A friend asking a friend. Come on, bro. Right? I got a couple of hearts on that. Did somebody comment? I don't even know how that works. Anyway, let's go back. So we got a lot of people out there that are pro-Trump and pro-MAGA and pro-Maha and pro-Massa, make America safe again. Blah, 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 blah. And they're all just, you know, we're total conservatives and da-da-da-da-da-da. But they're not. we're the other person right here. There's a guy right there, the tall dude. The other guy, is it right here? I think you're gonna see him. His name is Ted Cruz. So where's Ted Cruz and all this shit, right? Mr. Supporter of... It's like these... Look, I always said this. Demoncrats need Repiglicans to steal our tax dollars. They don't want to get rid of them. Let me see if I can get Senator Ted Cruz. See what he's saying. Ted Cruz. I already messaged my senators, Josh Hawley and Eric Schmidt. I called. I said, you guys, I don't know what the fuck you guys are doing, but just better pull your thumbs out of your fucking each other's asses. Right? Let's be real. This is serious shit. Get the SAVE Act passed. Okay, what do you... He did this on July 24th. That's if he hasn't done anything. Nothing. He can't... He just wants to go on a fucking... He just wants to go on a stinking... January 22nd? Yeah. He just wants to go on a hiatus. He wants his recess. He doesn't give a shit. So there it is. That's my update. I'm just letting you know that we have a... I think they leave... Are they leaving on the 10th? Because they have to have it passed by the 8th. It has to be passed and signed by Trump. So... If they were smart, if they knew what they were doing... If they weren't corrupt, then this would have been a no-brainer a long time ago. Just make sure everyone in the United States of America is over the age of 18 and absolutely, unequivocally, provably, vettingly an American citizen. And that's it, And if you break that law, it should be, penalties and shit like that. But they'll get that. The problem just needs to be done now. And I'm really concerned because with November coming up, and it's coming up a lot faster than people think. Let me see. August, September, October, November. It's like 4 months away. We are going to have a lame duck president with lame duck everything. And it's almost like these senators wanted to have it. The House is in, but the senators are just really shaky. What are they looking for? The problem with Congress is there's always money to be made somewhere. It used to be, I care about my constituents, I care about my caucus, I care about my country, my city, my state. That's how they play the game to get in. That's what they portray to get there. I'm going to fight for you, and I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to make change, and blah, 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 blah. And then when they get in, there's this big connection of just being in the loop of money. Yeah, let's see what this guy's saying. I want to see these two go at it.
Hey everybody, this is Scott Pressler. Today is day 203 of asking Senate Majority Leader Thune to pass the Save America Act. The Save America Act is only two key components. Number one, require photo ID in order to vote in federal elections. Number two, require documentary proof of citizenship in order to vote in federal elections. That's it. Photo ID, proof of citizenship. And as a reminder, this legislation has bipartisan support. Republicans want it.
Oh, I think they took the trans sports thing because the Supreme Court already said that you can opt out, or you don't have to, or it's just stupid or whatever to have kids, boys playing in women's sports. That's just fucking retarded.
Democrats want it. All demographic groups want to ensure that only eligible, lawful Americans are voting, because any non-citizen, any illegal alien that votes is defrauding and devaluing the vote of a lawful American citizen. And so, the House has passed this country-saving legislation 4 separate times out of the House. The House has passed the Save America Act with Speaker Mike Johnson at the...
Was that Langford down there below him? I think, yeah, that's who he's talking about.
Act. So Slim advocated on behalf of the state Democrat governor, Mikey Sherrill.
Yeah, these guys are, you know, and everybody's... Yeah, I think that's the guy. Yeah, he's full of shit, too. What a fucking loser. All right, come on, go to the page. Is this, are we out of space? Oh, we're out of space. Right? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm fucking right, man. Any chats? No chats. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Reply. Yeah, he's nothing. I'm gonna follow what that fucker's doing. Just everybody now, honestly, that's not aboard with staying and passing the SAVE Act is now on my shit list. Every senator. And there's a bunch of them. There's 44 of them now. Right? There's 44 senators out there, even my own in Missouri. And, you know, you can't help the Demoncrats. They want to make sure that illegal aliens are used, they're voted. The fraud's crazy. The stuff they're finding right now is nuts. And every Democratic supporter is like, there's no fraud. There's never been a single case of fraud. There was a lady that was interviewed the other day that had for I don't know 5 or 10 years has sent through Act Blue $140,000. And she's not worth $20,000. And she's maybe said she sent $2,000 in the past decade as a Democrat. And she was baffled. And this is everywhere. And then they have dead people and a bunch of Hispanic people, names nobody's ever heard of. And it's just insane. It's all coming to fruition. But we do need some accountability there for sure as well. All right, let's see if Trump's putting anything up. Let me see. Let's go to the top. Dude, you need to put the new plane up, bro. Hey, Don, Mr. Trump, please put the new plane. That new plane is awesome. You still need to scan it. Check for small micro cracks, all kinds of little stress fractures. Please do that. Hopefully your team has checked tolerances as well. That's also important. There should be a automatic ejection seat or vessel out of that plane for sure. There should be at least 3 ejection pods that if something happens, they'll spit out the back and you can be saved. You know, maybe even have a little jetpack on them so you can fly around. I don't know, something cool. Taking down the scaffolding around the regaled arts of war sculpture. Oh, that's cool. That looks pretty cool. This guy's just infatuated with gold. There's nothing wrong with gold. I've had gold. It's fucking cool. I don't understand why people are against gold. Look, the Demoncrats leaders, they've got tons and tons of gold. stashed away somewhere. Just totally following New York Times. This guy's pissed off. Breaking news, the failing New York Times, after 10 years of harassment, slander, and libel, just failed again in their desperate attempt to have our powerful defamation lawsuit against them dropped. As we requested, the highly respected judge has called for an update complaint which will lay out in extreme detail all the ways in which the New York Times has repeatedly and constantly acted with actual malice in defaming me, my family, our great MAGA movement, and America itself. Yeah, the New York Times is just, it's the worst. It's, if you haven't, I've known that since 2016. They're terrible. And I was somewhat a Democratic supporter at the time. We will continue to hold the Times and their comrades in the mainstream media accountable for publishing, promoting, and dealing in fake news. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. Raise your hand if you completely comply, stopping believing mainstream media. Of course, mainstream media is fucking shit. Yeah. Iranian regime ARC link to Tasman just dropped a sick propaganda video where to kill Melania Trump. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, that's fucked up. That was probably done by Democrats. This is beyond disgusting. Dear Sovereign Lord, please protect our President or First Lady from anyone who do harm to them. Yeah, it's just messed up. Okay, I understand what's going on with that. It's beyond discussion. Just okay. Let's get out of there. I think I jumped in that a little too far. Legacy Media is a crime partner to the Democratic Party, that's for sure. I am not surprised by media lies. Oh, wait, something happened. I wanted to play this. Where is it? There it is. Nope, that's not it. Let me refresh this. Hang on. Did that click? Oh, there you go. Oh, I like this one. Remember in Terminator when Sarah Connor was thrown in a mental asylum for destroying data centers owned by Skynet? Now, I'm not saying to go destroy one, and you should not at all, and I'm being serious. What I am saying is we need to keep a cap on AI. I'm just saying, people, it's getting a little out of control, and these data centers things. How did we survive without AI before? We did. We did. So it's just crap. Which one was it? Alright. This is the one of Matt Morris. I watch this guy every once in a while. He's pretty good. He tries to do the
Ladies and gentlemen, something absolutely astounding has just taken place in the Senate. Now, do me a favor. Remember that scene in Lord of the Rings where Gandalf comes riding down the mountain on his beautiful white steed alongside the riders of Rohan? Well, folks, pretty much that is exactly what has just taken place this morning. But okay, first off, before we get to that, I want you to take a look at something here. Despite Senate Leader John Thune claiming that the Senate doesn't have time to pass the Save America Act, guess what? The Senate is planning on spending 68.6 of the rest of the year on recess. What does that mean? On vacation. They're not even showing up to work. Now, who is responsible for making the schedule? Well, it is Senate Leader John Thune. He's the one that personally creates the recess schedule. 68.6% of the rest of this year, he wants to be on recess.
Oh, man.
This is very clearly an attempt to run down the clock in an effort to prevent the Save America Act from making its way through the Senate before the 2026 midterms. Man. Take a look at this. President Trump, he's not happy about this. He posted on Truth Social this morning, and I quote, John Thune should not allow the United States Senate to leave town until it passes the Save America Act, or far better still, terminates the filibuster, where Republicans can then quickly pass everything they ever dreamed of, including a full and deep-throated Save America Act, rapidly become nothing more than a third world nation. Is he correct about that? President Trump is this morning explicitly saying that if the Republicans do not nuke the filibuster now, the Democrats will, as a matter of fact, do it at some point in the future, at which point the United States of America, our great republic, will become a third world nation. Yesterday, we said we object to this recess, and now the United States Senate because I needed something to do. I'm serving because there are things we need to get Save America Act. It is more important as is only 9.4% debate. It's insane. John Thune has strategically kept the Senate.
So I thought he had something new or different, but I already went over this earlier today. But good job, Matt. Keep it going. You got a lot of people, a lot of followers. Good for you, buddy. Good. Keep it going. Keep going. We're all fighting for the same shit. So, yeah, I had to watch Bryson DeChambeau earlier. He actually beat a record in another country. Another course record in another country. Like, good for you, Canada. But it's a beautiful course. You know, like I said, I was going to go out today and golf, but it was way too hot, way too humid. And the last time I went out, it was about 5 to 6 degrees cooler. And I just barely made it from hole 15 to 18. I was like, oh my God. I mean, I was delusional like 3 holes in. I was just, wow. It's just I'm not used to that stuff out here. But let me see what else we got. What is that? I want to play this. Why do certain systems hate homeschooling? Yeah, they took homeschooling away so they could indoctrinate your kids. And we're talking about the Rothschilds and the 13 families and all this other shit, which is real. I've proved it. I've shown it. Many have done it. They still run the deep state. A lot of these people are fucking weird. They got the MK Ultra people out there telling people what to say and how to do it. And the interns controlling people like fucking Mitch McConnell, who supposedly is still alive. But there is a congressman who wants to know. Is it in there? There's a congressman that wants to know what the fuck is going on with the SAVE Act. Let me just refresh this because I have put in some new stuff recently. And then I'm going to get off for the night and I'm done. Again, everyone, this is very important. This is called the Senior Citizens Freedom to Work Act of 2026. If anybody tells you it's stupid, they're idiots. I've done the research. If you retire and you still want to work, then you always can. But the problem is you can't make a certain amount because they'll take that money away from you. That's money you paid for your entire life. Since I was 14 years old, I was paying taxes. I remember I was working at a hoagie pizza place on the island of Kauai, at the age of 15. I worked for a water bedroom place that's next summer, and then I worked on the beach, which is the greatest job in the world as a beach boy. The summer after that. And then I started working in, the military and all this other shit. And then all my life, I paid all this hundreds of millions or whatever, I don't know, a lot of fucking money. And it's mine. I don't care. We should get it in a lump sum, to be honest with you. It's like you saved all that money. What they should do with Social Security is they should put it in some kind of giant like I don't know if it would be a bond, because you want it to be placed in some way of a stock market. I don't know, just some way where it could accrue interest, right? Which would be a good idea. But I don't even know if it does it now. But anyway, that money's mine. I put it away. If I'm not going to have full access to that money that I work my ass for, then that's fucking bullshit. Because right now you can work, but if you make over a certain amount, they take out money out of your Social Security, which is stupid. Which is just it's like what? That's my fucking money. If anybody tells you to say fuck you, that's my money. I put it in there. I don't care if I make $1 million a year or a month or a day. That's still my money, right? And I'm telling you, if I'm making $1 million a day, I am doing a lot of great things with it. This